Welcome to free conference calling. We will now connect you to your call.
Cool.
Good evening. Mark is here. Who just joined me, please?
Hey, Mark, this is Robin Slim.
Hey, Robin Slim Show. Awesome to be connected. And from my understanding, we are live on your show right now.
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'll make sure and dot the I's and cross the T's then. So No, I'm just kidding.
Now, this is going on your podcast, correct?
Yeah, this is going up on my Content Alchemy podcast, and you want to chat a couple of minutes before I start recording on this end, or what best fits for the Robin Slim Show?
What you could start recording.
All right, let me go ahead and get my backup recording going here. And it's good to connect. It's good to put a voice with at least somebody that's in the Vickin community. Not always the easiest thing to do. So, which you might have noticed if you hung out over there.
Started.
Ooh.
Okay, my backup's going, and let's just go ahead and get into this. I've been looking forward to this conversation all day. You know, and the clock on the clubhouse wall says it's time for another Content Alchemy conversation, and we're going to talk about crowdfunding, and got a special guest. We actually have, how many special guests? Like three or four? I saw in the video.
Very
Four,
special.
okay.
Yes.
We actually have a supervillain and a superhero here.
Yes.
Oh, do they remain nameless and anonymous, or do they
I
have
am
names?
Doom.
One of them's Dr. Doom, and the other one...
I am the Slambertron!
Slambertron.
Cool. I'm just going to call you all the Robin Slim Show. Does that work?
That works.
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. So, hey, give me a little background here. Well, I give everyone else a little background. The reason we're talking is that the Robin Slim Show and I were members on a virtual virtual incubator and crowdfunding network with Vickin. It's a free community where people show up and hopefully try to learn how to do crowdfunding. And I was doing the managing in that community. I'm just a member there, though. I'm not doing the managing anymore. So we're going to have some conversation around crowdfunding. Isn't that what we came together for here, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just wondering how to, be more active with it, because I've tweeted it, I've put it on, Facebook, and we've had some people respond to it, but I didn't know if there was any other way to go about it.
Well, and there is, and let me give you a little behind-the-curtain peek here. That network, that community was created by Manolis Srinivasakis, who has something called Reality Crowd TV, and that free Vickin community is something he put together out of his own passion because he's a professional in the crowdfunding industry, and what he found was 90-some% of the people who were coming to him for help, he couldn't do anything for. So that's what he put the community together for, hoping that there would be some opportunities to educate, for people to understand and learn about crowdfunding, because, crowdfunding's got like an 80+% failure rate for the people who try to crowdfund things.
Yeah, because people made it sound so easy that we used to talk to that were doing it. They were like, oh, yeah, it'll be easy. People want to help you. And like I said, we've had some people, but it's hard.
You guys started a crowdfund. You've had a crowdfund campaign going for a few months. You've got a live campaign up and running now, right?
Yes. And we've raised 100 so far, which is good.
Right.
Which is really good.
Well, still a little far from your ultimate goal, and we'll get into that here in a minute. I just want to give some folks the context of why we were talking and why the topic was crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And I sent over some pre-made questions, and those I like to use those as guidelines. We'll go wherever those questions go with us, and we're only going to talk for 20, 25 minutes maybe, but we really want to get to know about the Robin Slim Show, what that, how that ties in with what it is that you want to accomplish in crowdfunding, and kind of your interests around there. And if the conversation goes other directions, then we'll go along with them. You know, I'm lax in that way.
Cool.
Then let's start in with a question.
Okay.
And I've been trying to figure this one out since you agreed to do the interview. I'm curious, what's the Rob and Slim Show? What's it all about? What's the business there? What's the project around? Fill me in. Give me the 10,000-foot view of the Rob and Slim Show.
It's about a 4-hour podcast. We do live, and then we also put on SoundCloud and iTunes, and we put clips on YouTube. And for an hour or two, we do news, and we make fun of each other. We just review stuff from our past week and all that. And then every half an hour, we do an interview from 7 to 10. So we do like 6 interviews for the night, which range from comedians, actors, you know, all sorts of different people.
Yep.
Nice. And I heard, actually, I picked up the segment, I think S.L. Walker was the name and author that you guys had just recently had a little segment. I caught that on the YouTube. So, you know, thank you for giving me the background on there. I guess let me ask you this about the Rob and Slim Show: is what's the ultimate goal? Where do you want to take this? I mean, there's 4 guys sitting around on a video on YouTube talking to cool people. You know, where's that going?
I'm cool with just doing it, but eventually I'd like to, you know, get paid on it, you know.
Yeah.
Either be on like a radio, like a Sirius XM type deal, or or just, you know, people subscribe to us type of thing to get that big.
My thing is like right now I work a full-time job, and it's hard to commit as much time and creativity to this project that I want to with working that full-time job. So if we were able to turn it into even where we're getting paid enough that I can survive and do this for a living, that's where I want to go with it, so that we can create this wonderful product that is entertaining and informative and above everything funny.
Funny, right? And I know I want to emphasize that for the listeners, that you guys do a comedy thing. You do conversation, you do comedy. I heard one of your interview people tell a joke about, what was it? 2 Jews walked into a bar and the third one ducked, something like that. It took a moment or two to sink in, but you know, it's that kind of humor. Wow, a 4-hour show. That's amazing.
Yeah, we've been told that nobody really does that.
Yeah, I've seen people do those kind of lengths in shows, and I've done podcasts. Originally did a first podcast probably 6 years ago, kind of thing. But usually I see those big chunky podcasts. I see a lot of times people will take those and break them down, you know, into 20, kind of like what you're doing with the YouTube segments. You know, just taking a segment and putting it in. But that's commendable. You know, how's it going? I guess, you know, are you gathering some audience and some momentum?
Yes, we have. We've definitely, especially in since the summer.
Since we came back.
We took off a couple months over the summer and came back, and we've definitely been growing a lot with the iTunes and the Twitter.
Okay. All right. Nice. Yeah, and I see you guys are active on Twitter and iTunes. I did want to check with you when I put the show notes together. How would you like me to reference the Rob and Slim Show? Is there a particular link that it makes you guys like squeal like pigs in poop?
Link.
Probably just the Twitter.
The Twitter or
You can find everything about us on Twitter. All our links to the YouTube, our SoundCloud, everything is on the Twitter page. Plus, every time we go live, Rob will tweet out a link to the live show. And I believe it's at Rob and Slim Show.
Yes,
is the Twitter.
On Twitter, yes.
Right. Yeah, I've got that. So what I'll do is I'll put the social media link in for that, and then I think I'll go ahead and link everybody over to iTunes for you, because we know how much the podcasting community so much appreciates iTunes reviews, comments, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool. We'll go. So let's get into the crowdfunding thing a little bit. What caught the Rob and Slim Show's attention when you first heard about this mysterious thing called crowdfunding?
We just wanted to do it like for promotional items like T-shirts and bumper stickers and all that, and for the like Slim pays for the Skype and the SoundCloud monthly, and just for that to pay for itself and
upgrading equipment
Yes.
and stuff like that too. Like I just upgraded to a new mixer because the other mixer, I guess we got so much use out of it, and it just started to go. So I had to get a newer one. Plus, I got one that has more mics because we started having issues where we have in studio guests and we never had enough mics.
Right.
So that's stuff like that. Like we can keep improving the show and what we can do with funding.
Okay, cool. So it's to further the cause, really, is what
Yep.
you're talking about here.
yeah.
Do you remember when you first heard about crowdfunding? When did it first catch your attention?
Was it Brandon? Was that the guy's name, Brandon, who's making a movie?
Brandon Green?
Brandon Green,
Yeah.
yes, one of our friends, one of our early interviews. He was a movie maker, and he made a movie about it's like a modern day like Peanuts type movie.
Right.
And he had done the crowdfunding, and he recommended that we do it.
I think he had funded his entire project with the crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Awesome, and that's awesome. I mean, like you guys are creating things in the entertainment field. Here's other artists, such as yourselves, like filmmakers, even painters and authors.
You're Mark. Mark,
These kind of
you're
people.
Mark. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but like your mic's going in and out. It's kind of like
Or it's a connection.
yeah, I don't know if it's the connection or something, but it's a little hard to understand you at points.
Okay, let me see if I can boost on this end.
Okay.
Is that any better?
Sounds okay.
So far, so good.
Okay. Maybe I should just shut up and let you guys talk. So tell me about your adventure in crowdfunding.
What do we go
What
to?
happened?
GoFundMe. I think it's just what do we do? We did the GoFundMe, correct?
We did GoFundMe.
Yeah, and it said they were more likely to succeed with the video, so we did a little corny, campy video for it, and I don't know if that helped much or not. I don't know what goes good on that
And I've
site,
looked
too.
at- Say again.
I don't know what works on that site. It seems like sick kids or something is what really brings in the
Yeah.
money. Like,
Yeah.
we're a couple of jerks, drinking and cursing at each other. It's not as cool as a
I've
sick
been
puppy.
hanging around. I've been hanging around the crowdfunding space for a couple of years,
Okay.
and typically GoFundMe is a special needs or special projects kind of thing, not so much a business building kind of thing.
Okay.
Right. Now I was wondering.
Okay, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, that does.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is there what sites would be for that?
Typically, you'll see more of what you guys are working on Indiegogo and Kickstarter,
Okay.
those kind of things. And there's a couple of niche sites out there.
Okay.
But typically, GoFundMe is a social cause thing. Like, hey, my family member has the debilitating disease. Can you help us pay for their medical treatment? You know, those kind of things are really more toward the GoFundMe personal cause.
I was thinking too to offer if somebody pledged a certain amount, offer them maybe a month of live reads
Right.
for whatever they had going on, like if they had a business or something like that, or a website to promote their project.
Yeah, that would work in that sense. And you guys are really in a good position to set up rewards, which don't really lend themselves so much to GoFundMe.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Did
didn't
you do
see that
a lot
on
of
there.
research?
What's that?
Yeah, they don't. Did you do a lot of research before you launched a campaign?
No.
No.
I was like, okay, this is cool. This will be good. That's what I really didn't
Stop. Why
know.
were you experimenting?
Did you have a
You're
question?
out there trying.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually did have a question about the crowdfunding and stuff. Do you feel like the market is very saturated because so many people are doing it, so projects like us might be hard to get out there because there's so much other stuff that will catch people's attention?
There can be, and one of the things that you use GoFundMe is actually probably the fastest growing crowdfunding platform on the planet right now.
Right.
So they're getting a ton of traffic, and they get a ton of that social cause, the social cause projects. So, as far as a saturation thing, I'm not so sure it's more of a saturation thing that it is just a misplaced platform,
right,
where you're promoting at.
Okay.
And the biggest part of crowdfunding is you've got to bring your crowd with you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's the thing. So many people, you know how easy it is to set up a campaign and say, oh, well, just promote this on Twitter and talk to your Facebook friends. And, really you have to have that inner circle of people to the point where in a rewards campaign, you've got to be 30% funded within the first week.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to annoy our fans, too, with, like, constantly putting it up.
Right.
Putting it up on the Twitter and the Facebook.
Yeah, and you've had this up for what, about 7 months now, it looks like?
Yes, at least.
Okay, well, I commend you on doing something because most people don't even try anything. You guys are at least in the trenches. You're out there trying to make it happen. And that's huge.
Yeah.
That is absolutely huge.
Cool. So your advice to us then is to switch platform. Don't do the GoFundMe. Try like the Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
Yeah, and the first thing I would look at is really doing some deep research, because I know there are other media companies, there are other groups, there are other campaigners out there who have successfully done what you want to do in crowdfunding.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome.
Now you said there,
which is nice because then you don't have to invent. What was it?
You had said earlier that there's like niche websites that do crowdfunding, so there may be a site that just crowdfunds podcasts.
Yeah, in fact, Patreon, I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not. That's very popular amongst the podcasting community.
That's a new one.
Unfortunately, they just got hacked. They just had a huge data breach here the last week. But, they have done a lot for podcasters, for people who are creating creative content on a regular basis, like the Rob and Slim Show does. Those are things that you get pledges per episode or per post or per publication and those kind of things. That would be something to look at. But definitely look into the research end. You can look in Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and you can find similar campaigns, and that's what you're looking for. To kind of compare to what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does.
Is it okay if I ask you some questions about like your projects? Like, what exactly have you crowdfunded anything?
Yeah, ask me all the questions you like, and that's a great question. Personally, I haven't crowdfunded anything yet, but I have my own project that's going to launch right now, scheduled to launch on December 1st. And my interest in crowdfunding is in the social good, rewards-based crowdfunding.
Okay.
So I have a social good project that I want to promote out there, and I want this to be an evergreen thing. I want to be able to do this every year, like a fundraising thing for this project.
Right.
But that's going to roll out the first part of December. I've consulted on several crowdfunding projects, and by profession, I'm an online marketer and have been for a number of years. I've been someone who has taken care of creating audiences and running email lists and building crowds and doing those kind of things in the information marketing community. So that speaks very well to the work that I'm now doing in crowdfunding.
Okay. What exactly do you mean when you say a social good project?
A social good project, great question. A social good would be something that helps another group of people solve a problem, to solve some kind of a challenge. My interest, I'll just give you a quick background, maybe it'll make it a little clearer. My interest is in helping people who have been former elder care providers for an aging loved one, my interest is in helping them get over what's called caregiver syndrome, which is a form of post-traumatic stress that care providers end up with. Okay, wow. So my focus is on helping that target audience, those people who are suffering with a caregiver syndrome thing after being a care provider.
So is that like they actually stop caregiving and then that sinks in, or is it like, does that like stop them from caregiving?
Well, the thing is with caregiving, you get into that hyper-vigilant mode, and we know so many of our veterans are coming back from the, from the war fronts with post-traumatic stress because of that hyper-vigilance of life and death situations 24/7. The caregiver gets into that same type of thing, certainly not into dodging a bullet kind of thing, but that hypervigilance. And it's also easy to get caught up in taking care of someone, and when you're doing that, you're losing your income, you're losing your social connections. I know several people who I've interviewed who have actually had to give up their careers to take care of an aging family member.
Wow.
That kind of a thing. And then you throw on top of that, okay, well, most of us, I'm a baby boomer, so I'm like in my late 50s.
Right.
Most of us in this age range, if that happens to us, you know what, there's not a lot of employers out there who are looking to hire people in the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
So it's a tough row, yeah. So that's what I'm looking to do with my project, is help people who have been stressed out by being a caregiver get their lives back on track. And that's going to roll out in, like I said, the first part of December. But meantime, I'm caught up in the whole passion of crowdfunding. Manolis kind of got me started on this. I connected with Manolis on Google Plus, I think.
I actually hate to cut you off here, but we actually have to go. We got another interview in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Mark, thank you so much for calling us, though.
Oh, we're good.
We're talking to us.
We are running along, gentlemen. Thank you, and we'll do it again. How about that sometime?
Awesome.
Awesome. Have a great one. And for now, we'll close it, and we'll pick up the conversation another time.
All right.
Bye for now.
Thank you, Mark. Bye.
Take it easy.
Have a good one.